welcome back to Greenlands. And before we crack on with some new jobs, need to finish off the scanning of the grass fields. This is the last field. I did a couple of them off camera. I have run the fertilizer around all of them, I think, at this point. This field has some pointy corners, which using courseplay with the crop scanner struggles with. So we are just going to go and do each of the corners first. And then I'll run the crop scanner around on courseplay whilst we crack on with planting or prepping the field for and planting our sugar beets, which is our root crop for the year. Last year, a lot of our sugar beet went through the washer, and then the Armour Salmon washer from 4D modding, and then the cutting plant, and then the sugar plant, and then what was left over we fed to the cows, and we've used pretty much all of that. Last year we had beets and potatoes, so that's not a problem because we've still got potatoes left to feed. This coming season we won't be just having the one field of beets, so I won't be processing them for sugar because, and if you remember back to how this series started, if you've watched the whole series, I went kind of overboard on productions and I ended up spending so much time managing productions that it got a bit boring. So I had a grain mill, the beet washer and cutter, the sugar plant, the dairy, the oil plant, on top of the ones that we have actually on the farm where we've got a BGA, the biomass heater, and the fertilizer dryer. So yeah, I have slowly cut those down. We still have the dairy and maybe the oil plant over at the industrial BGA, obviously over down at that site, but we're not going to get deep into productions again. I tried it. There's money in productions, don't get me wrong. I've got the clothes down there as well, which is going to pay next month, I think. But anyway, we have, I think I have not even used this yet, the Greenland cultivator on the back, because the planter that I'm going to use is not a direct planter, so we do need to cultivate. And yeah, I think this is unused. It was bought at the start when I was setting the farm up with the £10 million. It was, I think, part of the Greenland Vicon DLC in FS19, and I believe it's a mod that Giants released. Not entirely sure, but yeah. So we're going to, I don't remember the last time I cultivated a field. Probably what I should have done in hindsight is get a front cultivator to put on the tractor and run the planter behind it. But you know, it's a reoccurring theme with the videos this week, and the commentary is, you know, I just wanted to switch off and play some farm sim, and a lot like ploughing, particularly with having GPS on. Cultivating this field was quite a mindless job, you know. To put my brain in neutral, we can see you've got the tractor over there running the soil sampler. Yeah, I just put my brain in neutral and play some farm sim. It was a lot of fun. I think when I was recording this, I think it was Saturday, I think I was watching the One Show from Linus Tech Tips, which, if you're not interested in tech, is probably not at all interesting. But for me, so normally I do a long run on Saturday, and having 3-4 hours of a podcast to listen to helps pass the time. I didn't this weekend because I was still recovering from the run on Wednesday, hoping to start running again tomorrow. So I was sat playing farm sim, listening to the One Show, having taken the dogs out for a really nice walk on Saturday morning. And I'm not sure where I was going with this. There was some interesting stuff on there, actually. It's made the news, the main news in the UK now. The Silicon Valley Bank that went bust, I guess. There was a good old-fashioned run on the bank, and the federal authorities, whoever it was in the US, seized the assets of the bank, and there was I didn't realize there was a UK subsidiary to that bank, and I read this afternoon that that has been brought for £1 by HSBC. So they've obviously, I guess, taken on their assets and debts in the UK. The bit that was interesting, I guess, was that that's the bank that a lot of the tech startups use. You know, they get their venture capital from investors, and they have to stick it in a bank somewhere. And there was a limit on the amount that was insured. And there was a company that I think had £400 million banked with them. So yeah, there could be a bit of a shake-up in the tech industry in terms of companies, at least in the short term, struggling for access to funding, or their own funds. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. There was this whole thing, as I'm so glad we don't have it in FS. One of the guys that presents it, Luke, if you watch it, used to play. He stopped playing. I'll get onto why. Tarkov, which is a first-person, I think, high simulation-focused first-person shooter. The crop scanning is finished, so we're just going to send those off to be sampled and get this tractor back to the yard. Yeah, he plays Tarkov, which I've never played. I'm not a first-person shooter, but it's a quite detailed simulation shooter game, I think, which is rife with cheating, apparently, and quite advanced cheating. So engines that expose, player location and where you're aiming and all that kind of stuff. And someone did a video on it that they mentioned on the show. That video's got millions of views now because it was mentioned on there, and it kind of exploded the community there. And if you play Tarkov, you'll know. If you don't play Tarkov, you'll wonder where I'm going. But the thing that it was about cheating in gaming, and I have spoken about. I used to play a game called Battle Pirates, and that had a period where it was right, and there's a large element of PvP in that, and that game was rife with cheating. It may still be. I don't play it anymore. I did actually log into my account yesterday just to see what was going on, but played for about 5 minutes, got bored, switched off, because that's a game you have to play constantly to remain relevant. I had a little stint last year where I did, no, 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, where I did play and I got caught up and I got so that I was relevant, but I just found it so it's quite a repetitive game. It's too repetitive and I wasn't enjoying it. Anywho, that game was rife with cheating as well, and usually in the form of money. And so then there's a quite element of, does it really matter? But quite a lot of this cheating stuff that goes on. So the Tarkov one has resulted in arrests in China. The desk is quite rickety. I'm not sure if you heard of that. That's resulted in arrests in China, and it's a big money industry. So these cheats were being sold for £10 per day for access to them. So it's a big money thing, and there's sometimes these aren't victimless crimes. So you might say it's a victimless crime, not hurting anyone. A lot of them are based on, some of the money related ones are based on like credit card fraud and stuff, or identity theft. So you never know where the end, where the cost of some of these things lies. I know with Battle Pirates, there were people spending genuine money to compete against or keep up with people that were cheating. And the bit that I'm trying to meander my way to is one of the things I love about playing Farm Sim, particularly the way I play it. There's no cheating. I joke about cheaty things. There are things that make the game easier. But it's not like me using a cheaty plow or real speed impacts anyone else. So it's something that I really love. And when Kartek and I did the competitive multiplayer, you could say, take this the right way, hopefully, that when he realized we had real speed installed, he might have been cheating, fertilizing his field faster. I think he'd lost at that point already, but you know. And so, if you're playing multiplayer and if you're playing that competitively somehow, the mods that you choose to install or whatever basically mean that you're all agreeing to the same set of rules, so there's no cheating in my mind. If you're doing a competitive game, multiplayer, that you choose to do, if you choose to install, I don't know, super strength, then using super strength wouldn't be cheating. If you choose to install real speed, and someone uses real speed, you can't say they're cheating. You've agreed to these kind of things. So I love that. I do remember being accused of cheating in a video playing Farm Sim. It was back in FS19, and I was doing a zero debt challenge. And it was sort of based on Simulation for the Nation's zero debt challenge, but not completely strictly. And it was if you've been around the channel a long time, it was a continuation of what I started in the very first series on Bokwa. And it was when I moved to 6 Ashes. It was 6 Ashes that I went to. And essentially what I did is I took the money from the end of that series and brought it into the new series. And so, I basically, and I was using Simulation for the Nation had this thing about, because we didn't really have at that point used equipment in FS19. He had this whole spreadsheet of how to price used equipment and that kind of thing, and I was using that to guide buying tractors. And yeah, so someone was like, how have you got all that stuff? You can't have all that stuff at this point in a no debt challenge. You're cheating. They are one of the very few people that are blocked on my channel. YouTube's weird when it bans people, because it essentially shadow bans them, so they can still comment on the videos if they want. Nobody else, including me, sees their comments. So if you're still watching, stick a comment below. I don't even remember the name of the person. They'll just be in the list of, there's like 2 people I think that are blocked on my YouTube channel. Because mostly you guys are really cool. So yeah, I don't really have to deal with too much of the negativity. And to be honest, I have a very low tolerance for it, and generally I will just ban people if they're being idiots. There was one recently. I haven't actually ended up doing it. It was comment of the week on, the one week that I did comment of the week on Maypole Farm. So maybe I should bring that back. I actually wanted to do it as something constructive, but it ended up not being. So that was another thing that I picked up from watching Linus Tech Tips. I watch a lot of that guy's videos. Because, there's nothing to gain from being mean to or arguing with the people that choose to watch my videos. If you want to watch the video and you enjoy it, awesome. If you watch the video and you don't enjoy it, just move on. If you don't enjoy it and you leave a dumb comment or negative comment, I might engage with you for a bit to try and understand it, but ultimately if you're just being negative for the sake of being awesome on the internet from probably your mum's basement, then I'll just delete stuff and block you. I have enough real world problems to deal with without dealing with trolls on the internet. So I've been really lucky with, I think on Discord I've had one genuine troll that I spotted very quickly and they got erased. On here I've had very few. I've been very lucky. Anyway, that ramble has got us through the cultivating being done. And I believe we need to buy our seeder now. So we're going to use the ARX because what other tractor would you use to do seeding? Planting in this case. And we're going to buy ourselves a new planter. So I don't remember who made this mod. I think in FS19 it was either part of the horse pack or part base game. So that'll give you a clue as to the brand that we're going for. Because we have a horse seeder, I thought we should get a horse planter as well, and it is the Maestro 12 SW. So this is a 9-meter planter. Does seed and fertilizer, which is obviously quite nice. And I felt like 9 meters was a nice working width. So that is 93,500 pounds. I keep hitting this desk, I have to say. So we're going to plant sugar beets, so we'll get the seed up and that filled up. I'm in a new hotel for my Monday night work night away, and it's different. I have a feeling it was a really nice hotel about 10 years ago. It's not awful. It's kind of average. Doesn't have a proper desk, and when you do what I like to do in the evenings, a proper desk really helps. It does have a fridge, which is really rare in hotels in the UK, and it's a really cool benefit. And it has really good internet. I'm hoping in about an hour's time I can start uploading the first video of today that I have got sorted, which is the Greenlands video, which should have come out, or Maypole video, which should have come out Tuesday. So tomorrow for me, yesterday for you. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so it has really good internet, it seems. The wardrobe in the room is missing a door. The double glazed window is missing a big chunk of a window pane outside, and it has a ventilation shaft running somewhere, which is quite loud, and I'm hoping has not come out in the audio. I don't think it did in the test recording that I did, or in the recording I did for the end of the Maypole video. So yeah, it really sucks this week that I actually should have been away for 4 nights, 3 nights this week, 4 days. Originally I would have been leaving home this morning. So generally when I go into the office, I leave home at about 5 a.m. and I wouldn't have got home until Thursday evening. That's obviously changed because of disco, so I'm going to be getting home pretty late on Wednesday. Well, pretty late for me because I'm a morning person. I'm not a nighttime person, so guessing it'll be about 8 p.m. Probably at this point. I've not been on Discord much this week because it is a very busy work week. I was in the office today, as I've said. I'm in the office tomorrow, and then I'm traveling in the afternoon. I'm in the different office and meetings with customers all day Wednesday. And that'll be up to the point where you see this video. I will probably in fact be sat in a meeting as this video releases, and then I'll be traveling home and I'll be exhausted, and then it'll be Thursday, and Thursday will be a pretty sucky day either way. And then yeah, I don't know. So currently, and this plan is bound to change, there wasn't a video today because I wanted to redo the commentary on the Maypole video, as I spoke about in that video. This video should come out on Wednesday. Thursday should have the finale of Ohio. It's a longer video than normal for Ohio, and there'll be the video for the patrons on Thursday. That's everything I've got recorded at the moment, and there could well be a gap then. I'm away tomorrow night. I still have most of this evening. There is every chance that there will be more recording done. I really fancy tonight recording a Timberborn video. I haven't played Timberborn in a while because I didn't get a video recorded at the end of last. So normally I play Timberborn on Thursday or Friday, and that gives me plenty of time to get a video edited and released for Timber Tuesday. Thursday was a shit day, and Friday my brain was just not feeling creative. But I might sit and have a bit of a Timberborn session later, and I might release that on Wednesday. So that might have come out before this video even. I have got, as I've said, there should have been an Attingham video last Friday. got most of it recorded on Thursday, and then my brain locked up. So that might come out towards the end of the week. I don't know. And I don't know about the weekend yet. So bear with me, folks, over the next week, probably. Next week I have a couple of days away again as well. So that may or may not be good for a recording. We'll see. Yeah. I have started to prep for the follow-on series for Ohio. I have a map picked. I have a couple of maps downloaded. Most of the kit that I want downloaded, I'll come on to, when I start recording that, I'll come on to the dilemma I had with the kit. Which comes into some of my things about building teams and stuff that I've ranted about in the past. If you're really clever, you might be able to work out where I'm going with that series. Really clever. I don't know if that's enough of a hint or not. I don't know why I'm being secretive about it, but I want to actually get it started and get an episode recorded before I reveal what it's going to be. I might record some of that while I'm traveling. I think this desk is going to be awful for recording at, so I don't know if I'll do any gameplay tonight. I've still got 2 videos to voice, and at that point I may be done. So I'm going to say at this point, thank you to the patrons. Thank you to the YouTube channel members. You guys are all awesome, and really at the moment, I said it in yesterday's video, I want to say thank you to the community and your messages of support at the moment. It is very different. It is very strange to share what is going on at the moment. And if you've not watched the last few videos, Disco, our little dog, is very poorly and has a very big operation coming on Thursday, which he may or may not make it through. So, and even mentioning it makes me very upset. So, normally it is not the sort of thing that I talk about to people. Normally it is the sort of thing that I lock inside and deal with my emotions really badly. Yeah, it sucks. There is a plus. There is a small plus, and it's kind of reaching. Teenagers. So in the UK at the moment, there is a lot of striking going on for a lot of different things, and I'm not interested in discussing the politics or whatever of it. But her college lecturers are all on strike on Thursday, so we don't have to balance or make the decision whether she goes to college or not, or whether we say, you can just stay at home and wait with us to find out. And we don't have the rush in the morning, because her college is quite away from us, and at the moment Mrs. D drives her to college because it's actually cheaper than putting her on the bus, because public transport. And so we don't have the rush in the morning of getting her to college and getting Disco to the vet. So that's a plus. Small plus. But anyway, we've got most of this field planted now. I hadn't intended to, but once I got going, I couldn't be bothered to back out of the game. I'm running the seedbed reconciliation mod still, so they're getting a weird texture for the sugar beets at the moment. Ideally, I wouldn't have run it because I actually like the unrolled texture for planted crops. The other thing that I've been doing throughout this field prep, and it is intentional, and it is something that Kartek mentioned, and it's a bit of real world farming that I do know about because of Instagram. Yeah, it's not based on real experience from me. So you may have noticed that I ran the cultivator slightly different heading to the tram lines, and I am planting on a slightly different heading as well. And Kartek mentioned that in one of his recent videos on the oaks, I think. So Y Farms, which were on Born Mucky, and I still follow them on Instagram, they do that. So when they cultivate their fields and when they drill on a different heading to the previous year's planting and put in fresh tram lines. So other farmers might do differently, but I know of at least one real farmer that does do that. So it was I'm going to say it was sort of intentional, sort of a happy accident. bit of Bob Ross for you there. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, you can go Google it. He used to have lots of happy accidents. It's totally safe for work, you know. So go Google it if you don't know who Bob Ross is. And for those special of you that didn't know what NSFW was, that's not safe for work. Dealing with young folk sometimes is tough. Yeah, so we're almost done with this job. I think probably we will be back in April on here, because I don't think there are any more March jobs to do. And I'm not sure what we'll be doing in April, to be honest. We might have some spraying to do, I guess. Probably won't be mowing. I'm going to hang on until... Actually, we might be planting some maize. I don't know if we can plant maize in April, because one of the fields we ploughed the cover crop in early, so we might plant that one earlier. The other field and the mega field are going to wait until May, so we can get a cut of grass off them, and we'll plant the corn as late as possible. Because we're going to silage anyway, it doesn't need to be as grown, but if you plant it within the planting window, it will grow to harvest. So yeah, we might be planting the one field of maize that's been ploughed in already, and then that might be the only job for April. So April might be a short month in game as well, and we might be skipping ahead to silage season and corn prep and stuff. So that's going to be fun, because we've got a heck of a lot of grass to mow again, because we've got to do the mega field again. I might not do the side area on the mega field this time, because the trees have grown in quite a bit and it will be a bit of a pain, and we get a heck of a lot off there anyway, so I might not do that bit. Those trees aren't ready to cut yet, so we can't really clear that area. So yeah, they may not be ready to cut before we finish. At some point the poplar will be harvestable. Hey, that might be April, who knows. Yeah, you can tell why that's a really unpopular crop. Sorry, it's been a long evening, and I'm just sitting editing the end of this video and realized that the last bit of the recording had been cropped off. So that joke is not as funny the second time round, and it was not funny the first time. Anyway, that's the sugar beets planted. So thanks for watching. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and comments, questions, suggestions below, and I will see you next time on Greenlands.